So in today's video, we are chatting all about some creative ways of using our new property before we start building our house. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Steph. I'm Katie. This is Theo. And yeah, we are a married lesbian couple from Vancouver and the creators of Let's See the World. If you are new to our channel and you're not subscribed, we post tons of queer travel content, queer lifestyle content, married life, all that good stuff. So if you're interested in that, be sure to hit subscribe. In our last video about the property, we talked about building a house and what that might look like. If you haven't seen it, check that one out first. But if you have, you'll know that we kind of concluded that it doesn't make sense to build right away. So we are looking at some creative ways of using the land and being able to enjoy it without diving into a huge project like building a house right away. Yeah, it is such a big project. There are so many things we would need to get in order before we could even start. I think at this point too, like we'd probably be looking at like spring of next year to even get started. So yeah, we're not jumping into things right away. There's a lot that needs to kind of happen first, but we still want to find a way to like use the property and enjoy it. So we've been talking about different creative solutions for that. And yeah, we wanted to share them with you, get your thoughts as well, because maybe some of you have done this. I don't know. This is all very new to us. So of course, the thing that jumps out right away when we think of using the land and not having to spend a ton of money is getting something like an RV. So obviously van life is huge right now, and we've always kind of thought that would be really cool, but we've never really done a lot of that. We've done like one RV trip, which and we loved it. Really enjoy, but very, very new to that whole thing. Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of you have a lot more expertise and can give us a lot of pointers when it comes to that. Yeah. But in terms of using the land and having some kind of an RV, trailer, camper van, of course, the appeal of a van is that you can take it anywhere and drive all around and have different places to park it. Yeah. Because we have a really great place to park something, we are thinking maybe something a little bit bigger than a van that we can kind of keep on the land so that we can use it there. Yeah, when we first started looking at this, like camper vans was what we kept seeing. And there are some that have such cool conversions, you can do so many cool things with it. But then we thought, like then you're kind of paying for a vehicle that can drive and move, and then the vehicle also needs to be like mechanically sound, and you're paying for all that. But if you're just parking it in one spot, you don't need it to be able to drive. So then we kind of thought camper vans maybe don't make sense, and then there's also other options that, like you said, have more space and are also more affordable because they aren't like vehicles that need to drive. They're like trailers or RVs that are towed and that you can just kind of put them in one spot and like leave them there. And so we're thinking going that route makes a lot more sense for the situation that we're in. Yeah, so immediately Katie thought Airstreams. Oh my God. Vintage Airstreams, 1960s kind of. So cool. Yeah, they are really cool. They're typically a lot bigger. And yeah, they just look really awesome. They do. They're definitely more expensive than other RVs. Yeah. But again, you can do such cool conversions with them. I've seen some really incredible converted Airstreams for sale that are just like so cool. Yeah. Like so cool. The funny thing is like the functionality of an Airstream inside, because it's rounded, again, like and that's like round roof. Yeah, it's for aerodynamics, Airstream. It's meant to be better when you're towing it. So the actual shape of it isn't as functional if you're just like parking it, but of course it looks so cool. So really what you're getting is not necessarily a better function, but you're getting a cooler design. Right. Which of course is gonna be important if you're like driving up to the property, you want something to look nice. Totally. But there's also some really cool trailer conversions of like older trailers or, things that like aren't necessarily super pretty on the outside, which was kind of my concern. But then I started looking up how to paint the outside of a trailer. Yeah. And oh man, Pinterest is just like loaded with all this stuff. Cool. It's so cool. You can make them look really, really good. And old RVs like that are really affordable. And we've even seen some that are already converted, like beautiful on the inside, like all custom done. And yeah, they're really, really affordable. Like that's something we can easily do right away. And so that really appeals to us. There's so many options. It's exciting. Yeah. And two, with the property, like you could do an option that's just like fully off-grid, do like a composting toilet, like gray water tank, etc. Or because we do have some services on the property, we could also do something that feels a bit more permanent for the short term that's actually hooked up to our services, because we do have a well. Obviously it needs to be tested and all of that, but we could in theory hook something up to water, and we could in theory hook something up to the power on our property as well. So that's huge.
And we could put in a septic system and then have that all hooked up there too. So that would be probably ideal situation, is to just have it be like a more permanent structure on the property, hooked up to everything. So it's kind of acting like a house, but you know, it's still much more affordable and semi-temporary, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So the nice thing about doing something like this is the way the property is zoned. I think we might have mentioned this in one of our other videos, but because of the size of the property, there's a limit to how many like permanent dwellings you're allowed to have. So on our property, you are only allowed one permanent dwelling, because we had originally thought maybe doing like a main house and a cottage eventually, and maybe the cottage could be a rental or guest space or something like that. But because of the zoning on our property, you are technically only allowed one permanent dwelling. So then we thought, you know, having either a rental or guest space might be tricky. Like, how do we do that? But kind of the way around it is doing something like an RV, because it's not a permanent structure, so it's not considered a permanent dwelling. So it is even something we could potentially have on the property, like leave for later once we build the home, because there's kind of a separate spot that would be perfect to put it, and then keep it as guest space or as a rental or something down the line. So it's kind of a nice way of like getting started, but something that we can maybe eventually keep there down the line.
Yeah, because of course they're certified as mobile homes.
Right. There's no foundation. There's movable.
There's no foundation. They would be on a trailer, or if the trailer is it's on wheels. So that's all movable. What you could also do is, because we're allowed auxiliary buildings on the property, you could totally build a deck off of the trailer. We could build a little kind of pergola or something like that, where it's kind of its own little space. Even though the deck and the other structures are more kind of permanent, they're considered auxiliary.
Right.
And because the actual RV is movable, I don't know, it's kind of like a loophole, I guess.
And I'm sure lots of people do that, because it is a good way kind of around things. And it's a great way that we could get started before doing like a huge build project.
And of course it would be a great way to enjoy the property, being right on the water, having a little place to stay and be comfortable in when we're there. I think it would be really cool. We've also talked about having kind of an extra space, because of course RVs, even bigger ones, they're not huge.
They're still small. I mean,
some,
we live in a small condo.
Some are huge, so there are some really big RVs out there.
Yeah, but the ones we're looking at aren't huge.
But you know, like a functional space where you've got the kitchen, you've got a bedroom, you've got bathroom, shower kind of thing. But we've talked about having a bigger space where, you know, it's maybe a bit more of like a relaxing space or an office space. And it would be really fun to do something like a dome.
Oh my God. Have any of you looked at like the geodesic domes? I feel like they're getting very trendy with like...
so, yeah.
It's like glamping tents, right? But like they're like all weather, like they're like...
4 seasons, like can withstand snow, rain, all that stuff. Some of them you can hook up a chimney and have a wood burning stove inside. So cool. Like they look really, really cool.
Yeah, I've become obsessed with the domes because I thought, like... realistically, how much time will we go spend out there if we're just in like a small RV space? Like, obviously we'd still go and get to enjoy the property, and that would be amazing. But if we want to go and be able to like work and spend some time, you know, for, you know, a week or two or whatever that might look like, having more space is obviously going to be really beneficial, especially space to work. So then I thought, how can we have like an office space or something maybe that's outside of the RV? And then I found the domes and I became so excited because you could do like a full office space in there. You wouldn't need like plumbing or anything because you'd have everything else in the RV, but you could just do like additional living space, office space. Like, how cool would that be? They're amazing, and they're like, you can get them in all different sizes, and companies will like make them custom and just come and like build it for you on site. Like, it's so cool.
Yeah, what's really cool about them too is that you get like a panoramic window basically. So where we're thinking on the property would have a perfect view of the water. And because of the metal frame, you can kind of make them as big or as small as you want, really. Like they'll custom build them to however you want. They could be up to like 500, 600, 700 square feet. I mean, that's a lot of extra living space.
That's like the size of our condo.
Yeah.
That's the size of our living space right now.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So to have that in addition to a comfortable kind of living space in the RV.
Yeah, and maybe like
really
additional
cool.
storage space in there or
yeah.
something like that. Like that would mean we could actually spend more time there.
Yeah.
But it would still be such a cost-effective way of doing it. Like something that would be really affordable to be able to do like right now.
Yeah.
So then we thought, what if we just like created this like amazing sort of glamping campsite situation. Like you could do so much with that without ever even having to build a house.
Yeah.
Like it's so cool. If you start looking at like, just off-grid living, creative living situations online, like there's so much. So many cool things.
And we aren't even off-grid. We've got services, so that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Katie also has some grand ideas of...
I do. So the other thing I really would love to have one day, maybe not right now, but one day, and again, like a fairly affordable thing to do, is like these beautiful cedar hot tubs and like the barrel saunas.
Yeah.
Like there's so much space on the property to put stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that, how amazing would that be? You could have a little barrel sauna and then you could like go run down to the water and do your little cold plunge in the ocean. Like how cool would that be?
It would be like our own like Scandinavian spa.
Yes, like so cool. That's definitely a dream of mine. And then there are lots of local companies here too on the West Coast that do this and they build like custom stuff, and it's just a cool way I think of supporting like local makers and they'll come just like bring it and build it on the property for you. And those are also things we could keep for later. Like if we have different bits kind of scattered around the property, like those are things we can leave there and still have and use and enjoy later when we build a house down the line. So I think it's a great way to get started. That's something we could realistically start on like soon.
Yeah, the nice thing about doing a project like this is you can just kind of build things here and there, add things here and there, whereas with the house, of course, you're going to need to do kind of everything all at once, and that's obviously a lot more work, it's a lot more time, it's a lot more money. So with this, if we got started with just the RV, and then we could build the deck, and then we could get the dome, and then we could add the hot tub, and then we can build onto it, and
we could do all that without having to like excavate the land or anything. Like we could do all that just as is, the way it is right now.
There are 2 spots that would be perfect, one for the RV, one for the dome, and they're already flat, they're already leveled, so that's that's the hardest part with that, is just having level ground. So if we've got that ready to go, and then I think basically it's just a matter of figuring out the well water, getting that pumped and tested, and just getting that all hooked up.
System.
Probably a filtration system. I think that's pretty common on the islands. And then getting a temporary breaker box put in through the hydro company. And then lastly, looking at options for a septic system and whether it makes sense to kind of stick with something like a composting toilet for now and not worrying about the septic system right away, or getting the septic system put in and then having everything just all ready to go.
There are multiple ways we could do it, and then looking at the cost of it all as well, because doing a septic system would definitely be a big initial cost. That's kind of the main service that we need to put in. Would definitely be expensive, but we could get by without it, like you said. So we could kind of look at if our money would be better spent on a geodesic dome and a hot tub.
I think at the very least getting in contact with people that do septic systems, because
and seeing where it would need to go,
where it would need to go on the property is quite important, because we don't want to start building like decks and pergolas and stuff just to find out like, oh well, that's exactly where this system needs to go, and now we have to dig it all up.
So there's some stuff to do, some stuff to figure out, but I'm really excited about, I don't know, the prospect of having something that we could use on there soon. Like it would be amazing to have something there for like next spring, summer. Obviously we're headed into fall and winter now, and West Coast weather here, like it's probably not somewhere we would go spend a lot of time like this winter right away. So
I would like to.
Really?
I think wintertime would be magical over there. I think it would be so nice.
I just mean like with our timing and like the other things on our plate, I feel like a realistic timeline
that's true.
would be like aiming for spring, summer, because there are a lot of like ducks to get in a row ahead of time, you know what I mean? And it's already September, so
true.
But
if you have an RV and you want to send it our way,
if anyone is selling an old, because the cool thing is that I'm seeing so many that people have done like custom conversions on that they're now selling, because you know, people will buy an RV, convert it, live in it for a little while, and then circumstances change and they need to sell it. Like that happens all the time. So I'm seeing so many gorgeous conversions that are for sale, because we've also talked about, like, you know, do we do that ourselves? And that's something that I feel like we have always talked about maybe doing one day. I would love to do that. But it's so much work, and again, with all the other things we have on our plate, like, does it make sense? We also don't have somewhere to work on it other than on the island, but on the island we don't have access to like all the
we don't have the hardware store just down the road. I mean, there's a general store, but
it's
we don't have
it'd be a lot.
And
then it would also mean going out there and spending the time to do it, and then here in the city we don't have anywhere to like park it and work on it. Like there are so many logistical things that I don't feel like doing a build like ourselves, doing like converting something ourselves makes sense right now. So we have been looking for things that are already converted, already done, like everything's been finished already for us, and it would just be like, buy it and you can like get going right away.
Yeah.
So
that's where we're at.
That's where we're at. Yeah. We would love to hear, I don't know, thoughts, questions, concerns, anything at all if you have thoughts, because this is all very new to us.
Like I said, our expertise level on RVs is like very minimal. So I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of tips and things like that, and things to look for when buying an RV, or you know, I'm seeing listings that say like no leaks, like how do you check for leaks? There's so things like that. If you have advice on different brands, anything like that, let us know, please. Please,
that would be so helpful. So leave that in the comments and we'll continue to update you. We're excited. This is obviously one of many big projects in our life at the moment, so it's not taking up, you know, all of our time and focus, but we are excited to just sort of chip away at it, and maybe like next spring, summer is kind of our goal to like have something started, maybe. But we'll keep you posted and let you know what happens along the way and all of that. It's been such a fun journey, and you have all been so like supported and excited for us, which we really appreciate.
Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Theo says please.
It helps us out so much. And say hi in the comments, give us your thoughts. We look forward to hearing all of your advice and everything like that. And we'll see you next time. Bye.